Today is new wheel day.
Have you ever thought about designing your own?
I will.
Your own wheel?
No. This could be the best day of my life. Simply stating that it is new wheel day doesn't quite paint the full picture, because I've been keeping the biggest of secrets from you guys for far too long, and in this week's video I get to finally unburden myself. While we're on our way over to Transporter HQ, it's a great time to let you guys know that this week's travels are in fact sponsored by Huel. A bit later on in the video I'm going to explain exactly how they've been supporting me and the channel for the last 6 weeks. If you're not willing to wait that long, be sure to scan this QR code. If you're having a rummage around, you can get yourself some money off on some online only purchases by using the code UAO10. And while we're talking about codes, if you use the code UAO10 at checkout, your order will be subject to a discount here, in there, in here, and most appropriately, here.
I've had a couple of sets of Navis wheels and they've never let me down. The coating on them has never failed. I've treated them quite badly in the past, and like I say, they have been absolutely spot on. So you would think, now that it's just been released, that the Muck AT would be what I'd be fitting to the van, right?
One of them Muck ATs, when are they in for that?
They are coming like any day, but have you ever thought about designing your own?
I will.
Your own wheel?
No.
How can you see into my eyes?
This could be the best day of my life. If this works out.
Leading you down into my core, or I become so numb without a soul. My spirit sleeping somewhere cold until you find me there and lead it back home. Wake me up inside. Wake me up inside. Call my name and save me from the dark. Bid my blood to run before I come undone. Save me from the nothing I've become.
As you can probably tell, they make custom wheels here at Navis. You can pretty much have whatever you want. What I will say is, because that is a one-off, that is custom, that is CNC cut from one solid piece of billet aluminium. So the load rating on that will be far higher than anything that you can go and just buy off the shelf, because that is made in a cast. So what that means is, if that was to be put into production, like real production, you'd probably be culpable for about 1,500 wheels, I think Andy said. So to put that in the shop as a cast wheel, I think he would have to commit to about 1,500 wheels, is where I'm getting at. And what they would do is they would create a mold, a cast, the reverse of that, I guess, and then pour liquid aluminium into it on a production line multiple times, and that's how they mass produce them. There's literally 5 of those in the world right now, including my spare. That's a one-off that came from here.
It's kind of just hitting me now. All of the excitement, the dream build, beautiful, has turned into, not dread, maybe a little bit of concern. From day one, I've always been up against the people that said the van is ugly. And I get that, it's different. And while I do like the way the van looks, because believe me, this UAO thing, this YouTube thing that I'm doing, can't afford to buy a van for £50,000, spend £20,000 on it for something that I personally don't believe in or like. It's not that kind of operation, believe me. So I have always thought that the van is going to be a stunner eventually. Every single week I put a bit of content out there. I wrapped the van, I've done a roof rack most recently to the van.
modifying it each week, knowing that I'm waiting on wheels. Wheels is going to make the biggest difference. They can, and I've always said this, they can make or break a van. But what if it doesn't make it? I like the way the van looks, but there is about a 15% reservation in me that is relying on the wheels to bring it all together. And today's the day. I've been holding on to it, that glimmer of hope that the wheels are just going to transform the van and it's going to make so much more sense. And you guys are going to say, yes, you were right, it is okay. Because in an ideal world, the wheels probably would be the first thing that you buy. They always would be for me. So now it's finally here. It's almost like a don't meet your heroes kind of thing. What if I fit them? Or what if lowercase Craig fits them and I'm not totally sold? I am sold. I am all the way sold. You wait until you see these things. I can't show you right now because I've promised Andy from Ape Adventure Vans that I would in fact wash the van before I gave it the big reveal. I've just pulled over on my way home because I'm starving. I love these things. Finally available for the new Transporter, which means they're available for the Transit, because I don't know if anyone's told you, but this Transporter is in fact made by Ford. I love this YouTube gig, do not get me wrong. Most of the time, it doesn't even feel like work. My missus actually says that I have the life of Riley. I spend a lot of time driving up and down the country, meeting cool people, bolting cool stuff to my van. But I do fear that that has come at a bit of a cost, because since doing it, I have noticed changes, and not good ones. I have traded in manual labor 6 days a week for making videos on my driveway and topping that off with quite a fair bit of travel. I'm either 50 yards away from my fridge, so every time I pass that I dive in there, or days like today I'm on the road, I get a bit hungry and I'm faced with takeaways, fast food, or whatever a garage forecourt shop has to offer. Crisps and chocolates, packet sandwiches. I feel different, so much so that I was about to give all this up and get myself back on the tools. Banana flavour, that one. About 6 weeks ago, I decided I had to make some changes. Enough was enough, and I have, and it's worked. I have traded in any kind of on-the-road food for this. In there is a full meal. 2 scoops of that, 500 ml of water, and in there you will get yourself 40 grams of protein. 40 grams of protein in a drink that is going to leave me full but not bloated, and I tell you what, that is going to see me right through. That is the perfect balance in there of exactly what you need if you're someone like me and you're on the move. Simple changes, big results. Now, if you get caught hungry, miles from home, like I often do, you haven't got any powder with you, got no water, left your shaker at home, you can of course rely on these. These are exactly the same as the powder form, ready to drink. You will find these in a garage forecourt shop. They're absolutely everywhere. Once again, a full meal. In that bottle there is 35 grams of protein. The strawberry and banana is gorgeous. They do an iced latte one, and they also do a cinnamon one, which I'm going to save for Christmas. It gives you that Christmas vibe. The price point of these is so much better if you scan this QR code and use the code UAO10 at checkout. Someone much cleverer than I has worked out that the powder that you saw before works out to be about £1.60 per meal. You can have your lunch for £1.60. 40 grams of protein, no bloatedness, no crash. That's what I do. I parked that exact same van in that exact same spot about a week ago to take some photos, but my God, does it look different this week. That has made all the difference. What are your thoughts? Before you jump on the keyboard and say, I don't like them, I would do this and I would do that. If you're looking at a blank piece of paper and you could literally create whatever you want,
it's harder than you would imagine. It genuinely was the hardest thing. I've gone for a bit of a classic look, so a bit of a, almost like a Sega Rally 6-spoke kind of, expect to find that centerpiece on like a Mitsubishi Evo or something like that, a bit computer gamey, a lot less crevices to clean, by the way. But then I've gone for that classic Navis outer rim. I loved that outer rim on the Gelida. The Gelida up to now is still my favorite wheel, probably second to this now, but I've gone for that outside look of the Gelida, that inside look of something a bit retro. Yeah, I love it. Andy, I did wash it, I promise, here's proof, but I've gone for a little bit of a joyride around the garden to take some photos and a bit of drone footage. So it's now clean but dirty. Honestly, was I ever in doubt that probably any set of wheels would make a difference, but having them and having this here, could I be prouder? That little montage before, that voice of me speaking to Andy outside the unit, that was accidental footage. I did that thing where I thought I was recording when I wasn't, and then when I thought I was pressing the record off, I actually put the record on. That's why it's just staring at a sign. That bit where he said, why don't you design your own? That bit was real. The rest was bad acting and reconstruction, let's call it. So the back does seem to sit a bit higher, but that is the kind of way with the Ford Transit and the new Transporter. Got a lot more weight to go on the, I think my boy just crashed into a tree. Got a lot more weight to go in the back, a lot more weight to go on top, so we'll see what happens once the van is fully loaded, and I'm obviously parked on a massive undulation here. But what are your thoughts? Is it aggressive enough to be like a swamper? Am I getting somewhere? And before people say no, you're just throwing a lot of cool parts at a van in a bid to make it a cool van. That's kind of what van building is. It's just choosing those cool parts. And I'm saying they're cool. Gone for the BF Goodrich KO2. The KO3 is almost here, but not quite. I couldn't wait any longer. I was actually booked in to go and collect these next week, and I did all I could just to get there sooner, because I've been crying out for these wheels for so long, desperate to see what they would look like. And now you guys can probably appreciate why I've kind of kept the wheel thing under wraps, because there was a bit of a secret. 245 65 17. It's the exact same size that I put on my previous Transporter, and quite a lot of you boys put on the any kind of big tyre van. Has it affected my speedo? Yes, it has. 70, according to my speedo in the van, used to be 69, I believe. It was one out, according to Google Maps. I have got the footage, it's here, so whichever one that was. And now 70, according to Google Maps, is about 66. So I've just got to bear that in mind. I've got to get my head around using Google Maps and not Apple Maps. Now it's crashed into a fence. You love my new van.
No, I don't.
You love my new van.
I don't.
Why don't you love it?
Because I don't like the colour.
My biggest supporter right there. He wanted a black van with a red stripe. He's a bit stuck. I didn't know when I ordered these through Navis and Transport HQ that you guys could have these if you wanted them. There's a bit more of a wait, and I know we live in a world where everything is next day, and like the Muck AT is now in stock. Use the code UAO10, get yourself some money off. But if you wanted something truly different and you wanted to represent a little bit, and I'd go as far as saying black, anthracite, bronze, and silver. All of the colours that the Navis range are in, I'd imagine you could go for with this wheel. A bit of a wait, probably, I don't know yet, I haven't even had my invoice, probably a little bit more money, because they are custom made, they are CNC cut, they're solid, they're absolutely solid, and you would be rolling around with something truly, well, I think exceptional. I have thrown a few codes at you this week. We got the special on Huel, UAO10. We have the discount at Avano, UAO5. We have UAO-T7, anything Navis, Transporter HQ, Camper Glass, Solo Suspension. While you're in Transporter HQ shop, check out the Clayton stuff. It's my favorite power system. You're not gonna beat it. UAO LPS will get you 10% off of Clayton. All I would ask is if you wouldn't mind checking to see if you are subscribed. If you're not, I do invite you to just hit that button and hit that hype button. I don't know what happens when you do so. It is still free. Hype the channel, show your support. See you next Tuesday.